Good evening and greetings to all. Welcome to After Dark with Shawn Cornelius. I'm your host, the romantic funny man, Shawn Cornelius. And have I got a fantastic show for you tonight, as I always say. First of all, before I even do that, I want to say what's happening to my right and my left hands backstage making this thing happen. DDC Program Director Denise DeGiorgio Cooney and Tyreek Smoke, Mr. Kim, producer extraordinaire back there getting ready to do some work because I'm watching you. So let's make sure we head and handle it tonight. Anyway, we're gonna have a good time, man. I got a very special guest tonight. It's always great to have someone come on who is just very talented and probably has a lot of story to tell. So this gentleman tonight has a story to tell. He's a recording artist, musician, songwriter, and he's right here from the area in New York, New Jersey, the tri-state area from New Jersey, and he just released a single with. As he collabed on with a young lady we had on the show earlier, Julia Robertson, and it's called Over. Well, I'm going to let him tell you about all of that, but I want to tell you guys, as you watch this show, we are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, and I want to thank everybody that's watching on BronxNet TV, Channel 68, Optimum, and 2134 Fios, also on DH1 TV off the Roku channel, Fire channel, Amazon Fire. So everybody and people that are popping in, can't wait to have you and talk to you and just to have you enjoy this show because I think this is going to be really, really cool. So if you guys are ready, I know I'm ready. Oh yeah, I got to tell you also too, t-shirts. Yeah, we now have After Dark with Shawn Cornelius t-shirts, and don't worry, I'll tell you where you can go for more information on that. But yeah, we're building this thing. It's going to be great. I want to say what's up to Alan Greenstein. How you doing? And also CJ and my cousin Katrina Whaley right over there. So now it's about 2.5 minutes into the show. I'm not going to wait any longer because this brother's backstage and he is ready. So I'm so glad to have him here. I want you guys to welcome to After Dark with Shawn Cornelius platform, New Jersey's own, Mr. Norm Adams.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm blessed, man. How are you doing this evening?
I'm good. I'm good, man. I appreciate you having me on tonight.
Man, this is awesome to have you here. Appreciate you. We talked about schedules, and we know
Yeah.
how things can get when we're
hmm
doing things. But
hmm
the spiritual has opened up, the universe opened up, and allowed
Absolutely.
us to be here tonight. So we're so thankful about that. So thank you for being here, and I can't wait to get into the story, man. Get into your story because you're doing things.
Yeah, man. I'm just keeping it moving, man. That's what it's all about.
Right, right. So before we get into all of that, because we're going to
Yeah.
get into what's happening with you, let the people
hmm
know who you are. Well, I said who you are, but
Yeah.
tell them where you're from and a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I'm from a lot of different places.
All right.
Actually, originally from Newark, New Jersey. Grew up down in Florida, a town called Pensacola. Then back to New Jersey, and presently, residing just outside of Philly. So I kind of, get around, and I find myself in New York City a lot too. With music and and doing the grind. So just kind of everywhere, man.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. And
Yeah.
I had to read up. Some people I don't know.
hmm
Some people I don't.
Right.
So I wanted to get a little bit deeper in the background because I learned a little bit about you when we had Julia on the show.
hmm
But I thought, yeah, you started doing the singing thing
hmm
early. You
Yes.
actually came from the church, from your grandmother
Yes.
being in the church. Talk about that.
Yes, very young. Yeah, when I was probably about five, my grandmother discovered, that I had a voice, and she kind of, pushed me up, in front of the church,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
how grandmas can be, you're not gonna say no.
right.
And little did I know at the time that really was the spark of something that would be a lifelong passion for me. And then when we moved to Florida, that's when it really kind of started to, flourish. And, I found myself kind of on the church circuit, if you will. Like people were actually, requesting me. And here's I'm this little kid, just
Right.
making the rounds, and then from there it became different political functions and things like that. And that's when it really kind of started to become clear that okay, what, I might have something here. I found that I was drawn to the reaction that I would get from the audience, and it kind of it was kind of empowering because just that kind of became my platform, because I was kind of shy. I mean, and to some degree, still am
Right.
in my personal life. But music, as I'm sure is bigger than the person.
Hmm.
And it can create sort of a personality or persona of its own for the singer, and that's kind of what happened with me. So yeah, it just and everything just kind of that was the beginning, and things just kind of moved from there.
Right. Starting such at an early age, do you recall the
Mhm.
very first song that you sang? Like sang, not like the one you first sang, but the one you sang.
So,
Like,
you know what? My go-to song when I was a kid, I do remember this. I used to sing "He's Got the Whole World in His Hands,"
okay.
and that would really, really get a reaction from people, because again, here I was, this little kid, and I don't know, maybe they just thought it was cute, or whatever, but
Right.
it got the reaction. But it's funny that you asked that, though, because that has always stuck with me, because I must have sung that song a million times when I was little.
All right. Well, I just want to give you a heads up. You
Uh-huh.
might have to add 1,000,001 tonight because since you said I don't usually put people on the spot, but I'm always asked by somebody who works with
Hmm.
me if a
Hmm.
singer comes on, can you ask them to sing? I'm like, no, I don't put nobody on the spot,
Yeah, man,
but
it's Friday night.
but you might have to hum a couple of bars, man.
Maybe
So
I'll home. Okay.
okay, cool. So you moved
Yeah.
around. You went from Jersey
Hmm.
town to Florida, but then you
Hmm.
came back here
Yep.
and you
Hmm.
started doing some things and you took
Yeah.
music seriously.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah,
That's when it started getting more serious for me. Probably around the college years, when I really decided that what this is something that that I might want to pursue. But with that came, all right, well, if you want to sing, then what are you going to sing? Like, you need something to sing. And so kind of by necessity, I began to develop my songwriting.
right. And I
And
saw that. Yes, so early.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And it really it began in the most humble way. Like, the first producer that I worked with, like, we would literally be down in his basement in Brooklyn, and he had like a 4-track recording
Uh,
machine, and a drum
wow.
machine, and it
Okay.
was literally me writing lyrics and melody, and he would put a beat behind it, and those were like my first demos. But again, from those humble beginnings came, those were the stepping stones, to something that would become, more than, than I could have imagined at the time.
Right. And then that led into, so that's good because I wanted to
Hmm.
talk because some people say they don't know that they write well until
Hmm.
after they have the singing gift, but then the
Hmm.
writing stuff comes afterwards.
Right.
So this is something that you pursued this the
Yes.
songwriting thing. And that was
Hmm.
around the time that you joined you had your first group.
Yes. Yes. I was part of a group called Mass Appeal,
Hmm.
and this was in the mid '90s, and we were a 3-man vocal group. Two buddies of mine from Jersey City. I want to shout them out if they're watching.
Hmm.
John Howard, Tim
Sure.
Smith, sub brothers.
Uh-huh.
And we kind of made the rounds. We didn't have huge mainstream success, but we had some. We had a song that we did
Hold
with
on, hold on, hold on, Norm. I
yeah,
think I know
okay,
this one. Hold on. A
all right.
little bit of heaven.
Yeah. Ah, yeah.
All right.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And and that song, we actually had Kima from the group Total on that song with us.
Okay.
And we got, a nice little buzz in the clubs. And and so from there, that kind of opened doors, to other things, for me. So, that was a great time. We had a lot of fun. We traveled. We were doing what we loved. We were, young, and it was just a great time.
Yeah, and what's so cool about this interview is, it's cool to be able to understand what you're talking about when you're
Hmm.
talking about the music industry, because similarities. When I
Yeah.
saw in your bio that
Hmm.
you went over to Japan and
Yes.
you were doing some things and traveling internationally and just
Yes.
kind of doing some things, picking up a buzz. But then
Hmm.
you came back over and you
Hmm.
decided to do something else because you really hadn't made it. You
Yeah.
decided to go back. You can get some more education,
Hmm. Yep.
and you
Absolutely.
have a
Yep.
master's degree.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And but yeah,
Yeah.
but you are
So
also, no, I'm sorry, man, and you
no, no,
also
go ahead.
teaching.
Yes. Hmm.
So
Yep.
let's, yeah, because we
Yeah.
understand that as artists, until you make it, you ain't made it. You got to make it.
Exactly. You got to make it. Yeah, I have a master's degree in education administration, and it was important to me to be as well rounded as possible, because yeah, like you said, I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty with music, in just the arts in general. Uh, and I think particularly now in the times that we're living in with COVID and everything, we kind of see the value in having multiple options. you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
for me at the time, I hadn't gotten to where I felt that I wanted to be. So it was, it was time to just take some time to just regroup, and just figure out, all right, where do I go from here? And yeah, and that was the path that I chose. I mean, look, you can never have too much education.
No, no, you're right.
you know
Right.
and yeah, so that was the path that I chose. And then but that said, you can only you can only suppress your gift for but so long, and then you have to do something to honor it,
Right. Right.
whether you're selling out Madison Square Garden, or just singing for a couple of friends. You have to do something to honor your gift, and that's where I found myself eventually, which brought me back to it.
All right. And your debut album,
Hmm.
you put out a debut album. This is my time,
Yes. Hmm.
and you did that work, and
Hmm.
that's cool. How did that feel to put out an album? Finally put your album out.
Yeah, it was kind of surreal, just knowing, well, just going through the process, first was extremely, gratifying, because, this was something that was mine, and it was my story, and it was my, the songs were my creations, and I worked with some really, really great, producers, Ted Wender, Chris Brown, who I still work with, actually, to this day.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
we put together something that I'm extremely, extremely proud of. It's a very reflective album. It's a fun album, and it just really uh, embodies where I was, particularly at that time, in my life. And it was very, very rewarding to be able to release that project after so long.
Right. Right. And what I read from the bio, um, that was cool.
Hmm.
But basically, your greatest success
Hmm.
was teaming up with Julia Robertson and knocking
Yes.
out that collaboration and knocking out those
Yes.
hits. You had a real sexy, wait, because I'm not. like I said, I don't like to do the interviews like this, like pop out there. So I like to let it be like really relaxed. But I am human.
Okay.
There was a bedroom song that I thought it was a bedroom song, and I said, what was the first song that you guys did together?
Okay, so Julia and I, we released a song called Body Rush.
That
And,
was
yeah.
it. Okay, yeah,
Bedrooms, okay, all right.
yeah,
Yeah, that song, we really, hit on something when we teamed up, because initially, Body Rush was supposed to be just a one-off situation. She
right.
was doing her thing, I had my thing going on, and we came together actually at the suggestion of a mutual friend of ours, and I want to shout him out too. Greg Turner, shout out to you.
Give them all their shouts.
Yeah,
Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead. Of
absolutely.
course.
Exactly. And so, yeah, Body Rush was supposed to be just a one-off deal, but it really resonated with people, and so that kind of led to the continued collaboration, and now we're kind of a whole duo, if you will.
Hold on, Norm. You said it
Yeah,
was. You talking like it wasn't a number one smash. That's what you talk. You talking like it was just an average song. Now,
yeah,
my
yeah.
information said it was number one, so that ain't
Yes,
just the.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, it was all right
Nah,
type.
yeah.
Yeah.
It did really well for us. In fact, it even earned us a preliminary ballot Grammy nomination.
Congratulations.
Thank
Yeah.
you, thank
Yeah.
you. So yeah, it's been, honestly, it's been the gift that keeps on giving,
Sure.
because it's had several incarnations. Because we released it in 2016, so
Mm-hmm.
it was coming up on 5 years now, um, and it's had several incarnations, in that time, because people are always discovering it,
Sure.
and that's the beauty of digital music, because if you haven't heard it, it's new to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so we have different bloggers who are constantly discovering it, and different radio stations, and and people that constantly breathe new life into it, which has been amazing, and especially for me as a writer, because to know that something that you created has resonated with people, in such a way that, because they associate us with that song now, when
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's kind of like our signature song, if you will. Um, and whenever we perform it live, it's just it's amazing to hear people singing my lyrics back to us,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's really the mark of a great piece of work, in
Come
my
on,
humble
come
opinion.
on, man. Yes, continue. You be humble. I'm a humble dude, but you keep talking humble. This song of the year nomination,
Yes,
a,
yes,
a Hall
yes.
of Fame from a particular situation, a
Yes, the
Hall of Fame.
blog. Yep, from R&B
Hey,
Soul Effect TV.
it,
Yeah, it got us a lot of awards.
it's cool to be humble. It is because
Yeah,
I mirror that.
yeah, yeah,
But when people talk about me on certain levels, I'm like, but
yeah, yeah.
it's your work, man. It's something
It
that you
is.
birthed,
Yeah.
and it's something
Hmm.
that's obviously given to you from a higher power. So, like you
Yes.
said, when it's received
Yes.
like that for other
Hmm.
people,
Hmm.
from other people,
Yes.
that's the beautiful thing. The award thing or the record, but it's just the fact that you've created something that touched folks or
Yes.
resonated with them, where they get it. They
Yes.
get it. And
Yep.
I had that experience as well. So I know,
Hmm.
and people, even DDC, she's always telling me, well, you're humble, but you should be, and you should let people, well, yeah, but okay, I'll let you do that.
Right.
I'll let Smoke do that.
Right.
You know what I
Because
mean?
otherwise, he would be like, "Damn, he
He
arrogant."
is very arrogant. Yeah. And there's not an arrogant bone in my body, but it's
Right.
nice.
Right.
It
Right.
is nice when people recognize your
It
work,
is very nice.
especially on
It's
a
nice.
positive level. So,
Right.
so now we
Hmm.
fast forward a little bit with that collaboration, and you guys just released Over
Yes.
like a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, we released our new single Over. It actually
Mm-hmm.
came out on January the 12th, and the video was released on the 26th. So it's been a little over a week now. The video, has been out, and the reception that we have gotten on over has really, really been, tremendous. And and what's really, really validating is that not only has our audience embraced it, we're getting accolades from our industry peers,
Right, right.
who, people like, Bow-Legged Lou, from Full Force, who had some really nice things to say about it. And this is a man who has produced hits on, James Brown and Patti
Yes,
LaBelle,
right.
and of course, like, the Backstreet Boys and Lisa, So
Hmm.
again, as a writer, that is extremely validating, for me. And, and even the legends, Gregory Williams from
From
Switch,
Switch,
had
yeah,
some nice
yeah,
things to say about it. Melissa Morgan, Stevie D from Force MDs. And so again, I'm someone who, I used to listen to these people on the radio and
right,
wish for the day that I could do what they did. So
yes.
to
And
now
you're doing it,
hear that, right, and by the grace of God, yes, I am. And,
right?
so to now be receiving that kind of validation, from people of that caliber is extremely, gratifying and validating.
It's a blessing, man, and
It
you
is
got to
absolutely.
you have to definitely acknowledge that,
Yes.
because it's a wonderful thing, especially
Yes.
with
Yes.
songwriting
Yes.
and music. We
Hmm.
know music is so universal and touches. It
Hmm.
can change someone's life.
Yes.
You know,
Yes, it can. Hmm.
and when you do something on that level, and you get those kind of accolades, like you said, or conversations, or comments, or compliments from people who have been doing it, who you
Hmm.
look up to. That's wonderful, man. So kudos and congratulations on that as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
I did take a peek at the video,
Hmm.
not tonight, earlier, to
Hmm.
kind of prep for it, and
Hmm.
it's a wonderful song, man. It's a wonderful track. You guys did an
Thank you.
awesome job on it.
Thank
So
you. Thank you.
that's fantastic. So
Thanks.
since we talked about this in your humble beginnings and your
Hmm.
comings up, and there's people out there probably watching that are either in this early in stages or want to do it, what
Hmm.
kind of advice would you give them as far as where you are now and when you
Hmm.
started? What advice would you give someone who wants to do it?
Know why it is that you want to do this. And I say that because what you put into it, you get out of it. And if you are in
Right,
it for, for whatever reason, that's just going to determine the amount that you put into it. So, if you're in it for, the fame, the money, and the women, or whatever, those things tend to be fleeting, because they're superficial in nature,
right, right.
For me, it was about the art, you know,
Mm,
um, and, it's like I said earlier, it's about honoring your gift,
mm,
so if that is your focus, as it was mine, that's what keeps you going. That's what keeps you moving toward that end. Um, and so I think first and foremost, just understanding why it is, that you want to do this. And then also, I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't say to remember that it's a business and
yes,
understand the business of music when it comes to, contracts and, especially, as a writer with things like, your publishing and the business part of it. Because it's very much a business,
yeah,
it's, maybe about 10% show, 90% business.
totally.
So just understand that. And yeah, so that's what I would say to to someone who wants to pursue this, and understand that there are no absolutes in this.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
absolutes at all. And just make sure that that you always have a way to take care of what you need to take care of.
yeah. So I know, like, since the single just came out, but
Hmm.
you and Julia, are you guys Are you putting an album together? You know, I just aged myself.
Yeah.
Did you hear me say album?
I heard
Yeah,
you,
I'm
but
old
you know
school.
what though? In your defense, though, vinyl is
It's
kind of
coming
making a
back.
comeback,
Yes,
though.
it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it
So I'll
is.
give you that.
So, are you guys putting together? Are you still doing solo? Or are you focusing on
Yeah,
collaboration?
it's a combination of both. Over is actually our fourth single. There were two in between that we didn't talk about.
Okay.
We did a song called "Home Tonight" that was produced by Buddy White from Intro,
Okay.
and the dance remixes of that song actually really took off like globally, and so that's been a huge success for us. And then we have a Christmas song
Yeah, I
called
was going
"My
to
Kind of
mention that.
Christmas."
Don't think
Yeah.
just because you
Okay.
jump past it. Don't think I was
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
every
then I'll,
singer.
I'll I'll let you get back to that. Then.
Every
But
singer
yeah.
has a Christmas song. Everybody does a Christmas album or a single. So yeah.
Yeah. So we'll
Okay.
get back to that. But anyway, so you know what it is though, because we get asked this question all the time about, are you doing an album? And the immediate answer is no at this time, simply because I pay attention to the market, and
Hmm.
I try to be cognizant of the way that people consume music. And to be very honest, right now, the way the prefer with downloading and streaming being the preferred method of music consumption, that's an indication that people aren't really um, uh, taking the time to appreciate full bodies of work the way they used to. Not to say that it's everybody, but back in the day, you get a new, you pick up a new CD, and after you spent 10 minutes trying to get that plastic off and unwrap it, or
Right.
or whatever,
Right.
you pop it in, and then you have a vibe, for 45 minutes, an hour, whatever, for how long the
Sure.
CD was in length. But today everything just moves so quickly,
Yeah. True. It's
and
true.
people tend to have shorter attention spans because we're in the age of social media and getting messages out in 140 characters in a tweet, and and all that. And not for nothing, but you can put your own album together, in a
Yes, you
playlist. You
can.
can just go to YouTube or Spotify, whatever, and you can put your own album together and have all the songs that you want,
Right. Right.
and not skip anything. And it's funny because you see, people posting on Facebook stuff like, "Oh, name one album that you could listen to from start to finish without skipping any tracks," and it's always
Hmm.
fun to see, the albums that people choose. But in today's music world, that's not even an issue, because you just put on your playlist all the tracks
That's
that
it.
you want.
Right.
So of course you're not going to skip any tracks.
Right.
So for me, right now, I think, as long as we can continue to turn out, singles that are well received, that's enough for us. And again, it's about quality,
Hmm.
for us, rather than quantity. Um, when we released Over earlier, this year, that was the first single that we've released since the Christmas song back in 2018.
Okay, you did it again. All right, you went back to the
Sorry,
no, no.
sorry,
Since you
sorry.
did it, now you
Okay,
got to talk about
let's
that.
talk about it.
Because in about 2 minutes I'm gonna take a break. But since you brought it back again, talk about the critically acclaimed Christmas song.
Yeah. Okay. So a few years back, our publicist, Danielle Holland, she's based out in LA. She approached me with the idea of doing a Christmas song. Well, first she said a Christmas album, and I'm like, well, we haven't even really done a full R&B album yet,
Yeah,
But
see,
I was right, exactly. But I was open to the idea of doing, a Christmas song. So the challenge there was to tell a story that had not yet been told, because I wanted to write a song that sounded like Christmas, that made you think of Christmas when you heard it. I didn't want to just write an R&B song and throw little, Christmas accents in there, like the
right, I get it.
fireplace and the tree, and all that, so I wanted it to sound like Christmas. So I looked for inspiration, I looked to those Christmas classics, like the ones from Darlene Love, like Christmas, Baby Please Come Home, or Marshmallow World, like those Phil Spector, Wall
Right.
of Sound,
Sure.
and I wanted to model a song after something like that, because when you hear those songs, that's when it's Christmas. That just instantly puts you, into that Christmas, spirit. And again, it's something that just really, really resonated, with people, because as soon as we released it and we were doing, press to support it, people would tell us how it just kind of put them in the mood and the Christmas spirit, and like, oh, we hear this, playing, in movies on a Hallmark Channel, or you walk in Macy's or whatever, and again, all good signs. So, and the nice thing about Christmas music is that it comes around every year.
Every year.
Every year. And we shot a video for it, and the video goes along with the storyline, and the story. Again, I wanted to tell a story that had not been told, which for Christmas is kind of a challenge.
Yeah.
But the story is basically about a couple who want to do different things at Christmas. She enjoys staying home and having the traditional Christmas. He enjoys going away to a tropical island, and which is actually what I do enjoy.
Right.
And when I think about it, like that cannot possibly be an uncommon scenario. I'm sure that couples face that decision constantly, about, and even if it's nothing like, vacations, it could be something as simple like, okay, well, whose family are we going to spend the holidays with this year? Or how are we going to get to both? Or how, you know what I mean? So there's always a potential conflict, if you will, surrounding the holidays, because that can be a very stressful time.
Yeah.
And so, it really struck a chord. And so when we shot the video, we wanted to reflect the story. So we shot the traditional holiday winter, scenes in Pennsylvania, and then for the vacation scenes, we shot in beautiful locations, places like Jamaica and Costa Rica and the Gulf Coast of Florida. So to really
excuse us. Yeah, that was cool.
Well, you know what, bro? Look, go big or go home, right?
You went from Pennsylvania to I'm like, okay, we must have been doing a little bit better than you taught when we met.
Wow.
No, that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, man.
It's a wonderful thing. All right, man. Well, check this out. I appreciate that. Thank you for all of the information and the conversation in this first half. I told you this first half flies by, man.
It does, yeah.
So when you're having fun. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a quick break.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Nope, not at all.
And then we're gonna come back and find out what you feel about love and romance and intimacy and relationships and all that good stuff. So are you ready for that? You're gonna stay, right?
I'm gonna stay right here, man.
All right, brother. Well, Norm is going to stay, and I want you guys to stick around too, because we'll be back after a short break with more Norm Adams on After Dark with Shawn Cornelius. Stay right there.
Yes, I did it. And I did it over and over and over again.
The bad part was I had to steal to get what I wanted, to satisfy my wants, my needs, and my desires.
I mean, everything seemed so good and perfect. Until...
But none of that mattered, because I wanted what I wanted when I wanted it. And what I wanted was...
I know. Stress, no sleep, overeating, over drinking, sex partner after sex partner with no protection. I mean, but I felt like you failed me at times. My confession?
My confession?
My confession is...
My confession?
Thank you for listening.
Hello, I'm Thomas Gooding, and you are watching After Dark with my brother, the mighty Shawn Cornelius.
All right, all right. We're back. Welcome back to After Dark with Shawn Cornelius, and my special guest still in the building, singer Norm Adams. And you good, brother?
I am good, sir. I'm very good.
All right, fantastic, Norm. I know you're good
Mhm.
because I felt like from your bio there was something else special about you. So
Okay.
I feel like it's there, but
Okay.
you have to do me a favor.
All right.
You have to say and we can find out how much magic you got in those hands
Ah.
because you're a fantastic songwriter. Could you please just say abracadabra? Let's see what happens. Let me see.
All right. Abracadabra.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it works. It works. Your power, and you focused enough to put us in the love zone. How sweet it is,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
Marvin Gaye said. You are now in the love zone, brother, and you're on the
Mhm.
romantic funny man's love seat, which means we're gonna have a lot of fun. We want to get
Okay.
your opinions on love, like I said, romance,
Mhm.
relationships, and
Okay.
let's see what happens because
All
this
right.
is where we are now. Now the people that watch this show on a regular, they love this half hour, and they're
Okay.
gonna be on you if you're not on point.
All right.
All
Okay.
right, here we go.
Let's go.
First question:
Yeah.
what is your definition of love, and why is it important to you?
Hmm. My definition of love, love is probably the most powerful emotion that there is because um, it's a connection, uh, and and not just romantic love. I mean, there's all types of love. Obviously, there's a love with parent and child. There's love that you have for your inner circle. And then of course, that there is romantic love, but it's a very, very strong, connection. And it also can make you vulnerable because you are putting your heart in someone else's hands, and the more you love, the more vulnerable, you make yourself. So for
Hmm.
me, just that type of connection, to another person or people is
All
love.
right, okay. Now, and why is that important to you personally?
Well, we all need that. We all need, love because with love comes a sense of support and security, and and we all need to know that we have people in our corner. People talk about things like unconditional love, all the time. Well, that's measured in in the people who are there for you. Um, uh, Against all odds,
Right, right,
and the ones that that you can count on. And again, that vulnerability is what makes you susceptible to to being hurt by that on the other end of that spectrum because you have given of yourself to this person.
right, right. Okay, cool.
Hmm.
All right, let's step to the next word.
Okay.
Romance. What is your definition of romance, and why is that important to you?
Hmm. Okay, well, again, romance is an offshoot, if you will, of love. Because when you are in love, and speaking strictly of romantic love now, romance is an expression of that love, and it's important in any relationship because it signals to to the other person exactly what they mean to you. So when you talk about just romance, as an act, and of course you can get into the specifics, the
Sure.
flowers and the
Hmm.
and the intimacy, and things like that. But it's all part of it, and it's a very important part of love because again, it's a signal, it's a message to the person that you care about, how much they mean to you.
Right. All right, cool. And I got your answer out of that, the second part. So, which such a nice answer.
Okay.
Where would you put yourself on on the romantic scale from 1 to 10? Where would you place yourself?
I'm kind of a romantic at heart, so I would say I'm probably about an 8. You
Okay,
know,
no, listen. That
yeah.
what if that's what you feel? So, since you said that
Hmm.
confidently,
Yeah.
can you share with us what you have done in your romantic adventures that might put you there at an 8, and maybe not a 9, or not a 10, or a 5?
Okay. All right. Well, okay. So you know what? I'm gonna keep it official because, and I've actually never shared, this story, publicly. But
Hold on. Excuse
yeah.
me, I didn't
Go
mean to
ahead.
cut you off. So, does that
Yeah.
mean we getting an exclusive?
Well, maybe.
Sounded like somebody said we was getting an exclusive if that story has never been told. Now
Yeah. Yeah.
we are known for getting exclusive from
Okay. All
folks. So
right. I'll
if
give
this is
it.
exclusive, I'm gonna have to get some powers. And every time somebody say this the first time, I'm gonna pop it up on the screen. But okay, so here we go, folks. Here's a Norm Adams exclusive, and you get a close up.
Yeah. I would say, one of the more, romantic things. I was married once before, and when I got engaged, I had it was around Christmas time, and I had set everything up. I'd set the stage to where, I went and I picked her up from work. I had even gone and walked the dog before I went and picked her up, so we wouldn't have to worry about the dog and everything. And so we went to uh, we went to New York. We drove over from Jersey, went to New York, and we had dinner at a nice romantic restaurant up on 57th Street, and then from there we walked over to Rockefeller Center to see the Christmas tree, and it was there that I proposed. And once she composed herself and and then said yes. We then walked to the church. Is it St. Patrick's
St.
Cathedral that's
Patrick's,
over there?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we walked over there
Mhm.
because she wanted to light a candle, for her grandmother,
Nice,
since we were,
nice.
right there. And then from there we went down to Radio City Music Hall, and we saw the Christmas show, with the Rockettes, and I did all that
Mhm.
because I knew Christmas meant a lot to her. She's
Right, right.
Christmas is her time of year. So and then when we got back home, I had champagne waiting, and and the whole the chocolates and strawberries, and all of all the stuff to kind of to set that mood. So, and again, I mean, that's kind of a big
Yeah.
proposal thing, but yeah, so if
Man,
you
that ain't no 8.
that's
That ain't no 8. That's a 200 in certain people's books.
Well, that was different though, because I mean that's
But
a very unique circumstance. I
yeah,
mean,
but I mean, you're capable of going 200, but you
yeah,
consider you've
yeah,
averaged yourself at about an 8.
yeah, an 8, right?
Yeah, brother, you got that humble Z. It's all good because there's probably a woman on this screen right now watching, go, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
Norm." So I'm gonna make sure I put up your side. Oh my goodness. So no, that's wonderful, man. There's probably
Yeah,
some dudes to that because that guys will respect that. They may not say it
yeah.
out loud,
Hmm.
but women will be just fumbling all over themselves, man. So
Yeah,
that's
because
beautiful.
I mean, it's important to know. Like I said, I knew that about her, how much Christmas, meant for
Right.
her, and so I wanted it to be, emblematic of something that was special to her, and that would make that time, even more special. So,
And see, that could go under the category of love and romance
mhm.
because it's not just about doing things, generic things. It's
Right?
about knowing the person that you're with
Yes,
and creating,
absolutely,
molding something for them
absolutely.
specifically.
Yep.
So that's fantastic. That's a song. Don't you write it. I'm gonna write it. I just
You
want.
got okay, bro. I'll let you get that. Go ahead.
All right. Give me 3 things that attract you to a woman.
3 things that attract me to a woman. Um, obviously, listen, I'm gonna keep it official. Outward appearance is important, that listen, we're men, we're visual, outward appearance is important,
Mhm.
but also, with that, confidence,
Okay,
but not arrogance. That can be a fine line.
definitely.
That can be, a very fine line. And the third thing would be just how she feels about me, and making sure that I know that, you know what I mean, that I'm appreciated and that I matter.
Hey man, that's an important one. That's the first time
Hmm.
in almost 75 interviews that
Hmm.
someone said that. I'm gonna be honest, and I'm
Hmm.
looking at Denise and Smoke now because you. When I have conversations with women, sometimes,
Hmm.
and sometimes it's a one-sided conversation because it's
Hmm.
always about how they feel and what they want to feel.
Hmm.
But you don't understand, even though we have this societal thing of how men are supposed to be.
Yep.
Men have feelings, and it's important to us
Hmm.
to want to know what you feel about me. Make me feel special. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? I've got those energies as well. So
Exactly.
thank
Yep.
you
You
for
got
saying.
me. I got you.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. So now let's get you in trouble a little bit. What are three things?
Uh
What are three things that you don't like about women?
oh.
Yeah.
Well, I will. Well, I said one thing earlier, just arrogance. Because that's not a good look on anybody. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like I said, confidence is one thing. Arrogance, is something else. Um, Probably just along the lines of what I had concluded with the last one.
Uh-huh.
Just
Hmm.
being taken for granted, like, don't take me for granted. I mean, I
Right.
will, give and give and give, but if I feel like I'm, being taken for granted, then, that's an issue. And the third thing, hmm, that's
You don't have to be safe, brother. Just be
yeah,
transparent.
no, because
I
I
can
don't
see
want
you
to. I'm
like
like,
I ain't
who do
trying
you
to.
think he is?
But this is a no judge. It's a judgment-free zone, and you can't hear nobody's talking no trash to you. And
Right.
I wouldn't put their comments up on the screen anyway, so they just talking to themselves. But no, it's good. Just be transparent, bro.
Yeah, I guess, and s- disingenuousness. Someone who's not um, you know um, just not genuine. That
Mhm.
they maybe have have an agenda, an ulterior motive, or or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Now, if you had the opportunity as we move forward to have a
Hmm.
romantic dinner or a dinner period with anyone that you've been interested, whether it's past, present, or future,
Hmm.
who would you have that dinner with? Now, you could do a romantic one, or it could just be
Okay.
someone that you admire and you want to have that time with. Who would that be?
Okay. Well, let's go past because well, there's a reason. So if you had asked me that question, when I was a kid, I would have said without hesitation Irene Cara.
Okay.
She was my first celebrity crush. I had the biggest crush on Irene Cara.
Same.
Yeah, man.
I got you.
But now, look, I'm grown. So, those celebrity crush things, not so much anymore. But,
Okay.
back then it would have definitely been Irene Cara.
That's cool. That's smooth. Yeah, she was very pretty. Loved it.
Oh,
And
loved
had
her.
a
Yeah.
beautiful song. What was the ballad she had? Oh man, I should know it, but I'll probably figure it out. She had a really nice ballad. I think it was one of her biggest songs.
Oh, the Out Here on My Own
Yeah, Out Here on My Own.
fame.
That's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was. I
Hmm.
love that song, man. That
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
was fantastic. All right, cool. So let's let your brain work a little bit.
Okay.
You know that respect, honesty, and trust are very important in a
Hmm.
relationship.
Hmm.
Tonight, for right now, you get an opportunity to take one of those away and still have a successful relationship. Which one are you removing? Respect, honesty, and trust.
Oh boy, respect, Honesty, because they are all three of them are of equal
You
importance.
know, every
But
time you get ready
I
to answer the
know.
question,
Yeah, no, because listen, man,
like it's,
these are tough ones.
yeah, respect, honesty, and trust. Which one are you getting rid of?
Respect, honesty, and trust. Probably honesty, I guess, if I had to get rid of one, you know,
Okay.
because again, if you respect me, then honesty should be a given,
Mhm.
and I should be able to trust you, you know.
I'm gonna be very honest with you right now. We just had this conversation about this question the other night, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason. That's what I said because someone tried to ask me the question. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, you're asking
Right.
everybody's question about that. So I told them that, and that's one of the reasons why I said about honesty. If you
Mm-hmm.
respect me, you're
Right.
gonna be honest with me.
Right.
And
Exactly.
you're already giving me trust, so I'm
Yeah.
trusting that you're telling me the truth on things
Exactly.
that you're doing. So, good response, brother. Good
Thank
response.
you.
That was easy. That was easy.
No, it
Um,
wasn't. I had to think about that one.
right. What out of the things that you've talked about, what is it
Mhm.
about love that you really enjoy, or relationships? Let's say relationship. What is it
Mhm.
about relationships that you really enjoy? Because the next question is, what is it about relationships that you really don't enjoy? But so let's go with what you enjoy first.
Mhm. Um, I think just the intimacy, and not necessarily sexual intimacy, just being wholly with that person, and being in sync with one another, that's an indescribable feeling, because we had talked about love, romance, and all that earlier, and again, that's the next step in the progression.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think just the intimacy that occurs between two people who are in love.
Cool. And
Hmm.
one of the things that you really don't really appreciate about relationships.
um Confrontation. I don't do confrontation. That is the one thing that will just, make me hit the door faster than you can say your name. You know what I mean? It's just, because it just adds a layer of stress to a situation that that could already be stressful, because again we deal with a lot out here in the world, you know
Right.
what I mean.
Right.
And let's face it, particularly as black men,
Mhm.
we deal with a lot. And so when we come home, we need home to be that safe place,
Sure.
for as it should be for both parties, because and women will say, well, right, it should be for me too, and they're absolutely right. You make that safe place for each other. And will there be disagreements? Yes, absolutely, because you're two entities who are coming together, learning how to share a single space. So I get that there's going to be um some disagreements, but again, that can be a fine line when it becomes confrontational,
Sure.
that I can't deal with.
Cool. Cool. Very good. All
Yeah.
right. So let's get into the last segment of the Love Zone and see what
Hmm.
we can do with you and get you up out of here safe and sound. I don't think you sweat. You didn't sweat that much. Maybe
No, I'm
internally.
all right. I'm okay.
So do me one more favor. You did
Yeah.
abracadabra really good, but let's see if
Hmm.
you have powers with other words. Give me hot sauce. Say hot sauce.
Hot sauce.
Oh, it worked.
Ooh,
It
look at
worked. Okay,
that. Look at
cool. All right.
that.
Here we go. This is the final segment of the show. It's called favorites. It's going to be rapid fire, okay?
Okay.
I'm just going to shout out a category. You're going to tell me your favorite, and that's going to be it. All right.
Okay.
Here we
All
go.
right.
First one. Favorite food.
Lasagna.
Favorite all-time song.
Fill Me In by Craig David.
I like that one too. Yeah, from
Yeah.
England. Over England. All right.
Yep.
Favorite movie all time.
Imitation of Life.
Beautiful. Okay. Favorite book you've ever read.
My favorite book. I loved Dreams from My Father, Barack Obama.
Okay. All right. You've traveled. You've traveled the
Hmm.
world. Favorite vacation spot?
Cabo San Lucas. Loved it.
All right. I cater this one for you. Favorite songwriter of all time?
Babyface.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Good choice. Good choice. Favorite all-time TV show?
Favorite all-time TV show. Ooh, that's a tough one because
You can take a second on that one.
that's a tough favorite all-time TV show.
Yeah, man.
Well, you know what? When I was a kid, my dad used to love Dynasty, and I grew up on that. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that one because I seem to watch that one all the time. I'm not really a big TV person, so
Okay. All right.
yeah.
Another one catered for you. Favorite person you've ever done a collaboration on musically with?
Oh, Julia Robertson.
You better have said that, I'm
You're
sure.
right. She paid me to say that, by the way.
Yeah, man. That was a trick. It was a trick.
Yeah.
But you was on it.
Yeah.
You didn't have to go on that one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think I got time for, let me see, one or two more. Favorite state? State. STATE.
My favorite state.
Yeah.
California. I love California. Yeah, I love LA. Yeah.
All right. And then we'll do one more. Favorite season? Because you've lived in Florida, you've lived in New Jersey, you've traveled the world. What's your favorite season?
Spring, except for the allergies, but spring.
Springtime. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, man. See, you see how easy you thought it was going to be really tough and difficult, but this is very easy for you.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the last one. Favorite time of the day for love making?
Well, that depends. You got kids?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I do.
Because that's whenever you can get it in.
I totally understand that one too as well.
Right.
All right, I need you one more time, man. Because with that answer, you have just gotten yourself out of the love zone and out of the love seat. So let's take it on back with abracadabra.
All right. Abracadabra.
Okay. All right, cool. That brings us to the word of the show. So I'm going to get to that in a second. But I want to thank you, man. I want to thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate you, man. Much love to you and continued blessings to you, Julia, your family, health, great health, and all of that, man. Let's not let this be the first and last time we sit down and have a conversation. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, I thank you for sharing your platform with me. It has been an absolute pleasure, and I can't believe an hour has gone by. That we've been talking, and it's really been a pleasure. So I appreciate you. Thank you.
So much back at you, and I want to thank Tyreek Smoke Mustakiam because he was the bridge to having you here, producer.
Yes, he was. Thank you, Tyreek.
Yeah, so that's kudos to him. Word of the show before I do my closing, man. It's simple. Respect.
Yes.
Respect. You're watching this show. I don't care what you do, how you do it tomorrow. You know the definition of it. Show somebody some respect tomorrow. Do that for me. That's all I'm saying. Do that for me. All right. And I definitely appreciate you. And you'll probably have a better day. All right. So as I always say in closing, I want to thank everybody on Facebook, on the platforms watching, and that always are supporting us. I appreciate that. So again, my parting words are: please go with God in your heart. Have a peace of mind. Have a wonderful, wonderful tomorrow. Make sure you continue to keep yourself safe. We know what's going on in the world. I don't care what you call it. I don't care how you do it. If you're not going to be safe for yourself, be safe for someone else. Be safe for Norm Adams. Be safe for me. Wear your mask, because you walk past me with a mask, without a mask, So it's getting tough out there. So
it's going to be a problem.
It's going to be an issue. So we want to thank you again for supporting After Dark with Shawn Cornelius, and for Smoke and DDC. We definitely look forward to catching you guys on the next episode. So thank you again, Norm Adams.
My pleasure.
And for Lula May and Cornelius, his baby boy, I'm Shawn Cornelius saying good night, God bless, and we'll catch you around the corner on the next episode of After Dark with Shawn Cornelius. Love you, brother.
All right. Thank you, brother.